Instagram was good. What's popping with my indigos? How y'all doing? I got a message for y'all. I got something that I wanted to that I felt I was supposed to talk about. So I'm gonna just wait for some people to get in here so I can begin. In the meantime, I'm gonna just roll up some of this gas. You feel me? Some Zookies. Got some gas. Give me the gas. Ooh, some dope. Some California Zookies right there. But yeah, I felt like I was supposed to go live and share something with y'all. I feel like I see a lot of people, get inspired and get passionate and get hungry to awaken and tap into the spirit. And as far as my friends and associates and people who I've kind of helped awaken or assisted in their awakening or try to take them deeper into their awakening, every single person ends up hitting a lid, a capacity where it's like, oh, they figured out enough, or they have enough information, or they figured out enough of the truth, or they know enough about chakras, or they know enough about the Illuminati. And the fact of the matter is, there's never enough. There is no lid. There is no roof. There is no ceiling. Your capacity has to be infinite. You have to stay hungry for truth. You have to stay hungry for growth. You have to stay hungry for evolution. And just stay passionate. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Somebody said they can't hear me. Somebody else comment and let me know if y'all can hear me or not. Can somebody please comment and let me know if y'all can hear me so I don't waste my time talking, so I can fix this. Okay. Yeah, so what I'm talking about is the fact that a lot of people when I awakened, like my friends that I awakened with, and we kind of all started this awakening together and all got inspired and sparked spiritually together, or even people who, after I awakened, I helped awaken, or people who I've assisted in their awakening. I see a lot of people get comfortable, like they'll take in a certain amount of information or reach a certain level of consciousness and just scratch the surface of some things, and then all of a sudden they get comfortable, or even worse than comfortable, instead of killing their ego and realizing we are all one and we're not this body and we're a spiritual being. They use their spiritual enlightenment and knowledge to boost their ego and boost their their ego. So I'm just encouraging everyone. It's like, people think they realize or they know something, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's more than meets the eye, you know what I mean? That's just don't judge a book by its cover. It's like there's always more depth, you know what I mean? So I'm just encouraging everyone to stay hungry. And if there's a specific topic that you really think that you really know well and you got all this depth on right now, well, guess what? Go deeper. I encourage you today, tonight, tomorrow, to go research more about whatever it is you think you got so figured out and you've mastered and you think you know so well, whether it's chakras, whether it's meditation, whether it's crystals, whether it's constellations, whether it's cosmic history, whether it's ancient history, whatever it is that you think you know so well. If you think you know it really well, you probably don't know it well enough, because there's always more. It's infinite. The rabbit hole just keeps going, and there's an infinite amount of depth on everything. So keep digging, keep diving deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and don't stop. Stay hungry for evolution, stay hungry for growth, stay hungry for change, stay hungry for evolution, stay hungry for transformation, just stay hungry. Stay hungry, keep that fire burning in you. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I wanted to encourage y'all today, because man, I've had a lot of homies fall off of their spiritual ascension path because their ego got pumped from it instead of killing their ego, or they got comfortable and felt like, oh, they went deep enough, or maybe they got scared. Some of them get scared and be like, oh, I can't take anymore, because they haven't cleared their root and sacral chakra of all the fear and insecurity, so that they can elevate and rise up into that heart chakra and have that unity consciousness where you don't see the duality, but you have the courage and that heart of a warrior to fight and push and break through the barriers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, sometimes you just wander off the path and start slipping. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes we allow other people to derail us or distract. When you say someone distracted you, you're saying they distract you. Okay? So that's a distraction. So you know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, no one can really distract you or distract you unless you allow them to. You feel me? So, but yeah, that's just really what I felt to share. It's like people think they realize something, but my realization is that I had to realize that there's more to realize about what we realize through our real eyes and decoding the real lies. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, don't ever let your ego fool you and think, oh, you got it all figured out, or you already understand that, or you already know that, or whatever. Don't let your ego play you from and put that lid on you from growing, thinking, oh, you know enough, or oh, you got comfortable, or oh, you already got it all figured out. Yeah, don't let your ego play you like that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm encouraging every one of you to whatever it is that you think you know really, really well. I want you to go learn something new about it tonight. I want you to go research it some more, meditate on it some more, and get a new download and a new vision about it, and a new dimension and a new angle of it. Or I want you to go researching and figure out some new intel to verify and validate what you believe even more. So just, you know what I mean, or dismantle what you think you believe if it's not true. So yeah, I really will encourage y'all to just, whatever it is y'all think y'all know and got figured out, well, go deeper. I want you to go deeper into that exact topic that you think you got figured out so well. Live is forever growing and learning to unlearn a lot. Yes. Yeah, we got to unlearn and relearn, man. You got to deprogram and reprogram. Yeah, keep digging. Keep going deeper and deeper. I'm going to spit one of my raps, man, that I wrote, that I posted on a post. This is something I haven't released, but I say something about that in my rap. I said, this that celestial, extraterrestrial, multidimensional, conscious, interdimensional conquest. We are all one, there's no contest. Indigos running for Congress. Exit the matrix, pull off in my spaceship. I'm up in my sphere now. I feel like raw tear now. Switching them gears now. I had no fear now. Open the portal and go traversal. It's inside out. That's universal. Go back in time. Yeah, that's reversal. I can see the future. Yeah, that's rehearsal. That's 5D running through my IV. Remote view. I can see what any I see. I see a shift in the timelines. I see a rift in divine signs. I caught a glimpse of the prime time. Keep going deeper and deeper and wake up the sleeper. Go wake up the mind's mind. Unlocking all the time's time. It's fractal, holographic, running through your synaptic. It's telepathic. Cymatic, control the static. Intergalactic, it's automatic. Ultra, that's God speed. Beginning to end, all is within. So please tell me, what does a God need? Please tell me, what does a God read? I'll tell you. Genetic, synthetic blueprints. Indigo ray, yeah, we the blueprint. No 3D, this ET, yeah, that's the new drip. So know your time for a couple blue strips. MK Ultra, they'll do you ruthless. All you know's a lie, get you living truthless. Look into your heart, yeah, that's where the proof is. Looking back at my body, now my spirit suitless. Indigo. Feel me? But the main part that made me spit that was, keep going deeper and deeper and wake up the sleeper. Go wake up the mind's mind. Unlocking all the time's time. That's really why I want to spit that, because that's what I was just talking y'all about. It's like, keep going deeper. Keep going deeper and deeper and wake up the sleeper. Go wake up the mind's mind. Because everything is a mind within a mind. Everything is a lens within a lens. Everything is a star within a star. An atom within an atom. A cell within a cell. It's all a black hole singularity folding and unfolding on itself, you dig? And what we call the multiverse is just the memory and the recording and memory of all space and time of the universe. So what you call the multiverse is just the memory and recording of the cosmos and everything that's ever happened and will happen in it. AKA the Akashic Records. Yes, like, There's a balance to that. Good vibes, 888. There is a balance to, staying fluid. Like Bruce Lee said. Bruce Lee said, be like water. You pour water in a cup, it becomes the cup. You pour water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Water is adaptable, it's shapeless, it's formless. So he said, stay fluid, stay liquid like water. So yes, I get what you're saying, but then I also don't agree with that mentality that some people have where it's like, I've asked some people how they feel about the moon, and they're like, I don't know what to say about the moon. We'll figure it out. Because I'm not just going to sit here and say, I'm not just going to sit here and be like, I don't know. I don't like the mentality of people thinking that they can't figure something out or thinking like, oh, if I don't have a rocket to go over to the moon myself, then I don't really know. Like, no, like do everything you can to research, meditate, download, remote view, and figure out what the truth is. Like we need to get down to the bottom and narrow it down and figure out what the foundation is and what it is that's really going on and what it is. You know what I mean? Don't just believe something. You got to know it. You got to see it. You got to be it. Yeah, I don't resonate with that mentality of like denial where it's like, "Oh, I don't really know what the moon is, so I'm not going to make a no." Bro, the fucking moon doesn't spin. Everything in the universe spins. The moon does not spin. NASA shot a rocket at that shit. It rang like a bell for 3 days. Okay? They carbon dated the moon. And it's older than the earth itself, which means it does not belong to earth, which means it was brought to earth from another planet where it was probably originally a moon, but was carved out and turned into a Death Star kind of ET craft. Yes, exactly. One Live Source. I like that name. I got a track coming out later this year called Middleman, where I said, meditating, self-reflecting on my own projections. Had to dive deep within and find my own connection. I don't need no middleman. Man, I don't need no middleman. Man. And in the verse I'm like, Skywalker with the force, straight from the mouth of the horse, straight from the flame of the torch, straight from the flow of the torch, straight from the core of the Morse. That's kind of where I go. Yeah, I'm rolling up some Zookies. Pyramids and supposed to be Sphinx there too, if I remember correctly. On Mars. They're on Mars, but yeah, they got them on the moon too. But I think you're probably thinking about Mars. Man, I got a badass cough, y'all. Who else? I feel like it's these fucking chemtrails. They raining down on us, man. I can't fucking. Sorry for all the cussing, man. That shit pisses me off, the chemtrails, man. It's just like taking a piss. It's just like they're just taking a dump on our sky. I really be sitting there wondering, like, who the fuck is flying those planes? Like, who really has the balls and audacity to fly through and just poison their own planet, poison their own people, poison their own family, like, poison themselves? Like, who's got the balls to really be doing that? Like, that's crazy. Like, I almost be questioning, like, are chemtrail planes flown by AI? I almost wonder if they're flown by AI because I can't believe the kind of mind control someone would have to be under to literally fly a chemtrail plane and chemtrail everybody, their own family, their own planet, and all that. That shit is crazy. But yo, since some more people are in here, back to the point of why I originally went live, the thing I wanted to share with y'all was I started my spiritual journey with a lot of people, and we started off inspired, soul lit on fire, passionate, hungry for the truth. And it was like I just kept going deeper and kept going deeper. And the deeper I went, the more people couldn't keep up, or the more people just started fading away or kind of falling off, like the monkey in the barrel thing. And so it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like I was running the race and I crossed the finish line, looked back, and no one was even running anymore. So it's kind of weird. I see a lot of people, start the spiritual journey and get lit on fire, and then they reach their lit or capacity, and they feel like they're comfortable, and they get comfortable, and they get comfortable with the amount of information they have and the level of consciousness they reach, and they boost their ego and think, they got it all figured out or whatever. And so what I'm encouraging y'all to do is a realization I've had is that, realization is that I realized that there's more to realize about the things that we realize. And so always realize that. Always keep going deeper in whatever it is that you think it is, that you think you know so well. I'm encouraging every one of you right now to go research that and meditate on that some more and get some more depth, get some more downloads, get some more angles and dimensions on that. Because I guarantee you, whatever it is you think you know, you can go deeper and expand more on. So, yeah, that's what I'm encouraging y'all to do. If y'all been slowing down, this ain't the time. This is 2020 vision. We got to accelerate the consciousness. We got to speed this up. We got to activate that 144,000 in the Christ Consciousness Collective. You feel me? So keep pushing. It's really important. I don't think people understand this, but when we're activating ourselves and expanding our own consciousness, we are inflating, activating, expanding the collective consciousness. And every time we have a realization, it opens it up for someone else to have the same realization who's tuned into the same frequency. So it's really important for us right now to support the conscious music, to support the conscious movement, to stay hungry, to keep going deeper and deeper and wake up the sleeper, go wake up the mind's mind, unlocking all of time's time. See, all of time is your time. The history of the universe is your history because you've always been and you always will be, and you've been here since the beginning. And so the story and the history of the universe is the story and history of your own consciousness, your own spirit that's infinite, eternal, omnidirectional, and omnipresent. Because the universe is just a mind within the mind. Like I said, what you call the multiverse is just the cosmic, akashic record and memory of all time and space that's ever happened and ever will happen within this universe and the multiverse and the cosmos. Yes. Go hard right now. I need y'all to, yes, unlock them fire codes. Knock down them firewalls. That wall of Jericho, I marched around that shit 7 times. Me and my little brother were named after Joshua and Caleb. My little brother's name is Caleb. And so, my real name, some of y'all don't know, but my real name is Josh. So Joshua and Caleb in the Bible were the ones who marched 7 times around the walls of Jericho and blew the trumpets and brought the walls of Jericho down. And that's what me and my little brother was named after. So the walls of Jericho, it's symbolic for like a firewall, matrix. But also Jericho was an Anunnaki base and city in the ancient times, which a lot of people don't know. You feel me? But yeah, what's a topic that I should share more on? What's a topic y'all would like me to share more on? I'll share on it right now. What's a topic y'all want to know more about? Yeshua. What's the topic y'all know more about? Y'all want to know about the Anunnaki? I feel that coming in. Who is it? Which one of y'all want to know more about the Anunnaki? Who is it? Yes. Well, my middle name is Christopher. Christopher's for Christ. So my mom literally named me after Yeshua. My name is Joshua Christopher Friedman. It's an interesting name. Ascended is encoded in my name because Yeshua ascended. He's one of the ascended masters. So I got the name of ascended master, Yeshua. My middle name is Christopher, which is Christo, like Christ consciousness. And we ascend through the Christosphere. That's the gate we ascend through, the Christosphere. And my last name is Friedman. So Yeshua Christosphere Friedman. I got ascension encoded in my name, baby. Starseed origins. Yeah, we talking about the Anunnaki. Starseed origins go back to the Anunnaki. Yep, Christ, anointed one. All right, let's get into it. Where should we start on the Anunnaki? Where should we start? All right, who was raised Christian? Who in here was raised a Christian? I'm about to give you a real Bible lesson. I'm about to give you some real biblical history. Nice. 47 X. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's lit. Master gene manipulators, yeah. Genetic engineers. All right, well, let's go. So, in the Bible, when people talk about angels, not one Hebrew, not one actual prophet in the Bible, not one Hebrew used the word angels. Angels is a Greek word that originates from the word angles. And there's a symbology to it because angles have to do with geometry, and geometry have to do with stargates. And so, we're talking about archangels and gatekeepers. So there's a symbology to it. But the Hebrew word for angels was actually Elohim. So the Hebrew version is you had the Most High Father God El Elyon, and his children are his angels, the Elohim. Now the Elohim all had El woven into their name. They all had God's name, the Most High, woven into their name. That's why you had Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel. It's all about El, okay? Now, if you go study the Sumerian tablets, which the Sumerian tablets is the oldest record of history known to man. It's supposedly the first time that humans ever writ down and recorded something that took place here on Earth. And our ancestors carved history in a stone tablet 6,000 years ago. And they told a similar story that's more raw and uncut and less watered down. They said there was the Most High King, Father God, Anu. And he had children or angels named the Anunnaki. Now, the Anunnaki had the Most High King God's name woven into all their names. Anu. That's why it's the Anunnaki. Then this is for you, 47. So, now the fall in the Bible, basically, God was up in heaven. God. It's not God. We're not talking about the true source creator, okay? We're talking about the Anunnaki here. They said that God was up in heaven and Lucifer was his right-hand man and he was the most beautiful angel and he was the head of the choir. And basically one day Lucifer was like, yo, I'm a god too. I'm kind of, I think it's about time for a promotion. And God was like, huh? This is my fucking house. Who the fuck you think you are? I'm the only God in this bitch. That's what God was like. And so then the angels looked over like, hold up, we all spirit. We all, start tripping. So 1/3 of the angels fell. And it's like, whoever's controlling the religion, whoever's controlling the narrative is going to play the victim and going to play themselves like the good guy. You know what I mean? So, for one, who was really the bad guy there? Because clearly this God was on an ego trip. This guy was straight up on an ego trip. Like, yo, no, you're not God. I'm the only God in this kingdom, in this dimension. I'm the king. And that's not the case. We are all gods. We're all divine. So 1/3 of the angels fell. Okay, that's a brief-ass version and funny version of the biblical. Now, in the Sumerian tablets, Anu had his firstborn son Enki, his second-born son Enlil. His firstborn son, Enki, heir to the throne, Enlil, came to him and said, Dad, look, we're your sons, we're heir to the throne, we know you're the king, but we're grown-ups now, we're ready to be the kings of our own world and own dimension. We want to rule over our own world and be kings and gods of our own dimension. And we found this planet called Earth, and we would like to go down and rule over it. Their father, Anu, forbid them to do so. So guess what they did? They rebelled and sinned and went against him anyway and came down to earth. Okay? That's the real version of the fall that took place in heaven. There's a parallel between all these cultures. You see, so there's the trinity of the Father, Son, Father, Mother, Son, but then there's also the Father and two Son trinity. So there's in Sumerian it's Anu, Enki, and Enlil. Then the biblical parallel to that would be Father God, Yeshua, Satan. The Egyptian parallel to that would be Ra, Osiris, Set, which is part of where you get the name Satan from. The Norse parallel to that would be Odin, Thor, Loki. Like, so when you watch the Thor movies, Asgard, okay, the 8th gate or the 8th stargate or the 8th dimension is the golden gate. Your 8th chakra is the golden gate. Now, what is Asgard? It's the Golden Gate with the Golden Bridge, and it's got a golden stargate that could send you anywhere in the universe. Okay? Now, Oz, since the ancient times, has actually been short for Osiris. Now, Osiris represents Orion, and Orion is the hourglass, which is also the figure 8, and is also the spider. So, Asgard is really Orion. Odin, is really Ra. Thor and Loki are Osiris and Set. So you have the Trinity parallels. You have Anu, Enki, Enlil, Father God, Yeshua, Satan, Ra, Osiris, Set. What's another one? But then you have the. Now let me stay on topic here. Okay, so now this is what happened. So Anu forbid his firstborn son Enki and Enlil to go down to earth, and they went down anyway. That was the real story of the fall. That was the real fall of the 1/3 of the angels falling, because some of the angels wanted to come down to earth. So when they came down to earth, they were like, "Yo, the land of the gold is good. The gold land is good, and the daughters of man are sexy as hell. They were lusting for the daughters of man." So what did the Bible say? Now that you got the real version, right? Because who was it that came down to earth? The sons, okay? Who was it? It was Anu, and then his firstborn son Enki and Enlil. Now, what did the Bible say? The Bible said the sons, plural, the sons of God came down and breeded with the daughters of man. Because when it said that, it was specifically talking about Enki and Enlil. Y'all with me? As above, so below. The apple don't fall far from the tree, okay? Now, Enki and Enlil come down here, and they breed with the daughters of man. And what do? In the Bible, it says that the sons of God came down and breed with the daughters of man and created basically a hybrid, half human, half angel bloodline of red-haired giants that were called the Nephilim. But another name you could look up for the red-haired giants in the Bible, this is in the Bible. The red-haired giants in the Bible were also called the Anakim. And the red-haired giants called the Anakim in the Bible were said to be the children of Anak. Like, come on, it's right there in your face. But you're forbidden to look outside the box, so you would never be able to decode and read it correctly. So the sons of God can breed it with the daughters of man. Then created the hybrid red-haired giants, the Anakim, who are the children of Anak. Yeah, you mean the Anunnaki, the children of Anu? Okay, so now when you read the Sumerian tablets, Anu is a red-haired giant. Okay? So they're straight, direct descendants of Anu. Now what happened? Why did the flood supposedly happen in the Bible? Because the Nephilim giants started ruling the planet. That bloodline was taking over the planet. So what I'm saying, so you have Anu, then his son Enki and Enlil came down to earth, but Enki and Enlil are a parallel of Thor and Loki, and as you see, Thor and Loki are two brothers, half brothers, but they always rival with each other. Now, when they came down to earth, Enki and Enlil started fighting and warring and battling over who would rule the earth, who would be the king of the earth, who would sit on the throne over the earth, okay? And it was a bloodline war because they're half brothers. So they have the same dad, but different moms. Enki's mom was more Lyran. Enlil's mom was more draconian reptilian. So in the Bible, then when we go to the snake in the garden, for one, it's the tree of knowledge. Why wouldn't we want to eat fruit from the tree of knowledge? It's the tree of knowledge. Okay? So what does that mean? That means if you're forbidden to eat fruit from the tree of knowledge, that means somebody was trying to keep you in the dark. That means someone was trying to keep the veil pulled over you. That means someone didn't want you to activate your family tree, aka DNA, and remember who you were. Now, the story of Adam and Eve, it's a very multidimensional, allegorical. There's many symbolisms and interpretations of it. But one of the interpretations is that basically the snake in the garden, because Enki is also reptilian. It's just that I believe that Enki is more Lyran than reptilian, and Enlil is more reptilian than Lyran. But supposedly the snake in the garden was actually Enki. Now, what was that snake doing in the Bible? He was walking up on 2 feet like a person. He was walking and talking on 2 feet. That's called a reptilian. Okay, so the Bible was talking about a reptilian in the garden. Now, what is a garden? A plantation. Okay, so they were genetic engineers who created clones, who basically dropped them off in a little plantation on Earth and started experimenting with humans and basically creating a whole world, bloodline, culture, and race. And pretended that they were gods, but they're really not gods. They're kind of like us in a billion years in the future when we master ourselves, but then if we got back into our ego and got too far ahead of ourselves and got on a power trip and fucked up the timeline, so then had to come back through time and for some reason manipulate ourselves to fix what we did. So it's a weird, complicated thing that's going on with the Anunnaki. But if you really think about it, the snake in the garden was really giving you the benefit of the doubt. The snake in the garden was like, yo, take a bite of this apple, eat the fruit from the family tree, and activate your DNA and awaken and remember who you are. You're gods too. My brother playing y'all. Enlil, aka Jehovah. See, also when you talk about all these different names in the Bible for God, that's because we're talking about the Anunnaki. We are talking about different gods. And the Hebrew word or Old Aramaic word for angel is Elohim. If you look up the definition of Elohim, it means the gods. So yes, there is more than one God in the Bible, but guess what? None of these gods and not one of these religions are gods. I'm going to tell you that right now. No disrespect, but not one of these deities from not one of these cultures, religions, they're not gods. They're Anunnaki ETs who had supernatural abilities and their DNA activated. They came down from a higher dimension, way more advanced, way higher technologically advanced, and they genetic engineered and they convinced us. They did a bunch of magic tricks. Oh, look, we can teleport. Oh, look, we can do this. We can do that. And played us and convinced some of us that they were our creators, and then created religions to keep that system and that thought pattern, that mind pattern, that matrix, that construct in place generationally. You understand? Who with me right now? So yeah, so now, so it's almost like, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. So, and now what loving God would say, I want you to go to that kingdom over there. I want you to slaughter every man, woman, child, dog, cattle. You don't leave nothing alive. Wait, if God is love and love is equal, why would God want you to go slaughter a nation of innocent people? Okay? It was never God. The Bible is history of our ancestors being manipulated by advanced ETs and getting caught in the web of a bloodline war. Okay? So why did the flood supposedly happen in the Bible? Because the Nephilim, or the Anakim, the children of Anak, the red-haired giants, supposedly started taking over and dominating the earth. So then the other brother, okay, remember, what wiped out the giants in that bloodline? The flood. Okay, so God made the flood happen. Now, how would God make the flood happen? Well, what controls the moon again? Or sorry, I already gave y'all the scoop. What controls the waves and the tides? The moon. Okay. Now, if you go back in history, another parallel for Enki is also Poseidon. Poseidon was the god of water. And then you have Ishtar, which was Enki's sister, and she was like the goddess of water. They were like mermaids, but there were gods and goddesses of the water and the moon. Why were they gods of the water? Because they were gods of the moon and they had control of the moon. If you control the moon, you control the water. Okay. So what really happened is one of the brothers' bloodline started dominating the other brother's bloodline on the planet, but the other brother had control of the moon. So the other brother weaponized the moon and used the moon to create huge tsunami tidal waves to flood the earth and wipe out the other brother's bloodline. So it's always been a bloodline war. That's what this whole thing's always been. That's what the whole war has been between the Middle East. That's what the whole war has been between them. It's always been an Enki Enlil, Yahweh Jehovah war. That's what it's always been. It's always been a bloodline war from the gate. Yeah, it's all parallel. These aren't different gods. These aren't different deities, and they're not gods at all. They're simply Anunnaki ETs who are advanced, who came down to Earth, seeded their DNA into us a long time ago, which means, guess what? We are the Anunnaki. We are related to them. They're literally our family. We literally have their blood. These beings are literally, these ETs you talk about are literally, physically, not spiritually, blood related to us. We have their blood. It's running through us. Okay? Now, it was recently scientifically proven that water is a liquid crystal. And crystals are time capsules that hold memory. Okay? So it was recently scientifically proven that our body and cells are made of mainly water, and our cells hold cellular memory. And so basically it's scientifically proven now that all of our memories and our ancestors' memories are recorded within our DNA. Yes, Cain and Abel are direct descendants of Enki and Enlil. That's what that whole thing is about. The apple don't fall far from the tree. Okay, it's a dysfunctional genetic anomaly and program that's been seeded into our DNA. These are not gods. They're fucking klutz, egotistical, pompous, elite fucking ETs that are just way more advanced version of our Illuminati. Yes, unconditional love is the frequency of the fifth dimension. But you know what they say. First, the truth pisses you off. Then it sets you free. And yes, that's what I'm saying though, is we are the Anunnaki. We have that blood. So if we curse them, we are also cursing ourselves because we are the Anunnaki. So when in my song Run It Up, when I said middle finger up, fuck the Anunnaki, at that time, I was aware of this as well, but I just had to say it. That's how I felt. I felt angry about it. And I felt like I had to have the balls to express it and say it. Like, fuck that. They've been manipulating us and taking advantage of us and treating us like fucking cattle and sheep for a long time, and we're their descendants. It's not right. You know what I mean? So, I bless them. But, yeah, I still, don't apologize for what I said and run it up at the same time. But at the same time, we are the Anunnaki. So, you know, but, yeah, so, no, it's not hate. It's not hate. There's, just because you angry doesn't mean you hate. There's righteous anger. There's an anger that comes with justice. And that's the spirit of a warrior. It's an anger for righteousness and justice and equality. That's not what this is. It's not hate. Like I said, you know what I mean? It's all a reflection anyway. It's all within, you know? Yes, our brainstem is reptilian. Your neocortex is mammalian. Okay? So, now, another parallel, since you brought that up, for the snake in the garden with Adam and Eve, is that reptilian being was actually trying to convince Eve to hybrid and have sex with it to create a hybrid reptilian bloodline and take on their genetics. And that's possibly when we took on the reptilian brainstem. It is a fact. If you look up your anatomy right now, if you go to the doctor and ask him what type of brainstem you have, he's going to tell you, you have a reptilian brainstem. Okay? Now, if you ask and look up the anatomy and look at what kind of neocortex you have, which the neocortex is like most of your brain, it will say mammalian. Mammalian is like a dolphin or a whale. Now, at the top of your brain, you actually have a dog part of your brain, a canine part, and you have an avian part. And so let me ask you this. How do you get a reptilian brainstem, a dolphin, whale, amphibian, aquatic brain, and you don't have reptilian or mammalian genetics? That doesn't happen. We are hybrided X-Men extraterrestrial beings. We have a reptilian brainstem. We have a Nomos, Syrian, Atlantean, mermaid, amphibian, aquatic ET, neocortex. We have an avian brain on the top of our brain. and a dog part. And what the symbol, if you ever see the symbol of the eagle with the snake gripped in its talons, what that symbol actually represents is you ascending and breaking through the brainstem, the reptilian brainstem, and allowing the crystal fluid from your spine to flow into the rest of your brain and activate the avian top part of your brain near the pituitary gland, and you aviate and rise above the reptilian genetics and get a grip on it and overcome the lust of the flesh. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I've actually had contact with the blue avians since I was a child. So when Corey Good came out about it, it really blew my mind because I didn't really know what was going on. When I was about 6 years old, at night, I used to go to sleep, and this would happen all the time. I'd go to sleep, and I'd be on this ice moon, this moon that was like the whole like architecture of it. It's like it had trees and all that, but they were all like everything was like made out of ice. And so I would always appear there in the same spot on that ice moon, and I'd be there for a while, and then Raw Tier Air, he would just phase in and be on that moon like this, and he would start communicating with me telepathically. And I remember when I would wake up from this, Star Fox was my jam. I used to try to tell my parents I would have a dream that I was like communicating telepathically with Falco from Star Fox, basically. And so there was that. And then when I reawakened, when I got older, I met with Corey Good, and me and Corey Good talked about the avians, and I told him about the experience, and me and Corey Good talked about a bunch of stuff. And then a couple of days after I met him, I went to sleep, and I was in a black void. I see this blue sphere really, really like far out, and it starts like coming up a little closer, a little closer, a little closer, a little closer. And then it's like about 10 feet away from me. Or no, it's about like still like 20 feet away from me, and I can see Raw to air like this inside the sphere, and it got a little closer towards about 10 feet to about where you would greet somebody from. And he's like this, and I woke up, and the image of him like this in the sphere was just stamped in my head for the rest of the day. I couldn't get it out. And then about a year after that, this is when I lived in Mount Shasta too. And then about a year after that, me and my wife, we moved from there to somewhere else, and me and my kids, we went to sleep. And my wife has never watched the Corey Good stuff. She didn't know who Corey Good was. She didn't know anything about the Blue Avians, okay, at this time. She wakes me up in the middle of the night because she was up cleaning. She wakes me up in the middle of the night, freaking out, going, like couldn't even breathe. She's like, there was just a bird guy in our room, a bird person. And I just start cracking up laughing, and she's like, why are you laughing? And I was like, what did he look like? Because I already knew. And she describes him perfectly. She's like, he had like a feathered mohawk that was purple, but at the tips it went pink. And he had like a humanoid body, but it was all bird features and feathers. And he was doing some kind of hand signal at me that was like this. And I pulled up the picture of Raw Tier Air and showed her the picture. And she started busting down crying, saying, that's him. That's the bird guy. That's the guy that was in our room. And she freaked out. So then I showed her all Corey Good stuff and all about the Blue Avians, and she lost it. 3 days later, we found out she was pregnant. 6 months passes by, and I'm meditating. I'm in the middle of meditation. I'm like 45 minutes in, and I don't know where the random thought came to me, because we had just found out it's the gender, that it was a boy. And I know where thought came to me, what should we name him? Because we still hadn't came with a name. And loud and clear, I heard Avion. And so my son's name is Avion. So, and he has an avian connection. And one of my homies was actually out of his body and outside of the planet looking back in, and he could see everyone's, shortly after my son was born, he could see everyone's energy signature, and he was looking back on the planet, and he seen this one energy signature that was just off the charts, that was just like blowing everyone else's out the water. And he flew in and zoomed up to see who it was, and it was my son Avion. Yeah, his middle name's Orion. His full name is Avion Orion Friedman. And the interesting part about that too is one of the interpretations of Orion is Ra. One of the interpretations of Orion is the avian, is the bird. Thank you. I got a lot more of those. That's nothing. I'm an experiencer. Y'all don't. This shit ain't coming from research. That's the difference. If y'all feel the difference in the frequency and vibration of my music, it's because this didn't come from the internet. My information is not no Corey Good regurgitated. It ain't no Dolores Cannon. It ain't no David Wilcock. It ain't none of these guys. My information comes straight from within. It comes straight from experience. I have constant contact. I have constant spirit travels. I have constant downloads and interdimensional visions. And ever since I was a child, this isn't new. This didn't start just 2012. This has been ever since I can remember. My first memories were contact. My first memories were remembering being in Atlantis prior to being in this body. So, yeah, this isn't the internet, man. This is the real internet, the interdimensional conscious net of the universe talking through me. And that's what happens in my music. So if you feel a different frequency on my music, that's the reason. Because it's real and it's raw and it's coming straight from source. This is not no regurgitated shit from the internet. This ain't no conspiracy. If I say it, it's because I've had direct encounter, direct experience, direct download, direct vision of what I'm talking about. That's awesome, third gen. My first memory is very similar. When I was 3 years old, my mom was telling me about angels. And when she was telling me about the angels, I remembered being a blue light beam hovering above the earth. And I was looking down at my hands. And I looked down at the earth and I was saying, I want to volunteer. I want to volunteer to incarnate and help these people fight this spiritual multidimensional battle. And so I remembered that, you know what I mean? And I told my mom, I said, so then when I remembered that, I told my mom, I said, Mom, did you know that we were all angels before we came here? And she said, oh, no, there's angels and then there's heaven. And there's earth, and that's where the humans are, and there's hell, and there's demons, and she didn't get. I wasn't asking her. I was telling her because I remembered. I remembered volunteering. I remembered incarnating. And then at about 3 or 4 years old, after that, these blue light being silhouettes, they're transparent and have no face, they would appear in my room usually around lunchtime, in the middle of the day. And I'd be playing with my toys in my room. I'd be like 4 years old, and they would just appear. And 3 of them, they'd always phase in and just look at me, watch me. And I kind of look at them and look back and look at them. I didn't know what to do. And I ran to my mom and I'd tell her, hey, there's these like blue like beings in my room. And she would go, oh, they're probably angels. And I was like, yeah, they are angelic, but they're not those Caucasian white dudes with the wings that you showed me with the white linen robe in the book. So now I know who the white linen robe guys are with the wings, the Caucasian dudes. Those are Anunnaki. And I also know who the blue light beings are, and those are the indigos. That's what it truly means to be an indigo, to be a consciousness that incarnated from the indigo ray of light, which is the 6th ray of light, which is the 6th dimension. That's what it truly means to be an indigo. Yes, we were all angels before we came here. Maybe what you experienced last night was actually me saying what I'm saying right now. Because that's what I just said. As I said, Mom, did you know we were all angels before we came here? We're all light beings, angels that were service to others in a higher dimension, volunteering to incarnate into this physical vessel that's a vehicle that allows our timeless 6th-dimensional spirit to exist inside of time. But this body has an expiration date. Your spirit does not. That means this body is a temporary version of you, which is not the real you. So you volunteered to, I volunteered to play a character named Third Eye in a movie called Earth. And sometimes we get stuck in our script and our role so long, we start, thinking we're the lamp and not the genie. Forget you the genie. You start, thinking you the box and not Jack. And you forget who you are and what you came here to do. So I'm just here to remind y'all. My music's here to remind y'all, and it's 2020 vision, baby. It's Christ consciousness. It's that year. The 144,000 finna activate. I got 5 albums coming for y'all this year. 5 projects. I'm dropping around 70 tracks, including the fact I'm featuring on a bunch of people's stuff. So I got 5 projects coming for y'all. I'm releasing 70 tracks. Just in the next 2 weeks, I'm releasing 3 projects. I'm re-releasing my first ever project on all platforms, omnipresent. I'm releasing a brand new EP, 6-track EP called Me, Myself, and I. And I'm releasing another new EP called Lunar. And it's going to be Me, Myself, and I is dropping on the 23rd, 1, 2, 3. Omnipresent is going to be on all platforms sometime at the end of this month. I don't have an official date. And then my other project, Luna, is going to be dropping on 2/2. So just in the next 2 weeks, I got like 22 tracks that I'm dropping over the next 2 weeks. So in the next 2 weeks, y'all have 22 new songs from me. And then after that, I'm going to start releasing some of the singles off of my 2020 Vision project that I have music videos for with Cruz, Spectrum, Free Soul, Donnie Arcade. So then I'm releasing my 2020 Vision project on my birthday, 7/21, July 21st this summer. And it's got 20 tracks on it. And it's got everyone on it from, it's everybody. Aura, The Prophet, D-Rock, The Menace, Free Soul, Spectrum, Cruz, Donnie Arcade, AK the Savior from the Underachievers, my bro Jay West finna be on there, and shout out to my boy Omboy Rome, he finna be on there too. Man, I seem to have a lot of friends with that birthday, that 7/27. I have a lot of people who have that birthday. Like, I have a lot of friends who had that birthday. That's interesting. That's lit. Yo, he said my daughter's optics. This one cat just commented and said his daughters play Zen Girl on repeat. That's fire. Third Eye Optics just got here. The optics, man. The black hole, white hole system, man. That's operating the visuals. Say what's good, Optics.
What's good, guys?
This Third Eye Optics, he the one that shot Love Yourself, 222, Killuminati, Fibonacci. He's the one that shot the Indigo Cypher. He's the one that made the lyric video for the Indigo Cypher. He the one that shot the videos that are about to come out this year with Free Soul, Spectrum Cruise. So this the man. This my shooter right here. Yeah. He bounce out with the cannon on you instantly. Don't play. Get the flash.
But I'm out.
I have my shooter bounce out with the cannon on you and get the flashing. But I ain't talking about a gun though. Yeah, man. I wish I could play some music. You got a Bluetooth speaker? I got a Bluetooth speaker here. I'm gonna have to I got a Bluetooth speaker actually. Hold on, I'll be right back, y'all. Hold up. Where is my Bluetooth speaker, man? There's 12 people in here. I'm trying to think. Oh, it's in the bathroom, bro. Could you grab it? It's in this bathroom right here on the counter. By the way, we got merch coming soon, too. You see the Third Eye Gang merch? You feel me? Yo, Third Eye Gang. You feel me? Y'all see the merch, though? The merch coming soon. Third Eye Gang merch, new paradigm, fifth dimension. You feel me? Yeah, merch coming soon. We got everything coming soon. Website coming soon. Also, make sure y'all go check out, make sure y'all go follow our page and subscribe to our new YouTube channel, Indigo Rev. We are going to build it into being basically the conscious world star hip hop / no jumper / genius. It's going to be the first Indigo conscious hip hop platform. And we're going to scale it into a label. So also, if you're a conscious artist, feel free to submit any songs or music videos to us. DM me about that, and I'll shoot you an email to submit to. But yeah, we're bringing it full force. We're firing on all cylinders this year, 2020. We not playing.
I haven't even taken a day off.
It's the takeover. It's the Indigo takeover. Oh, the hoodies, the merch. Yeah, I got the pants too. I'm rocking the pants right now too. Hold on. Let's see. Here, optics, you show them so they can see. So you got the pants too. Third Eye Gang. New Paradigm. Yeah, got the pants to go with it. Yeah. Yo. Bet, submit it, bro. Submit it in. Okay, I got you. Yeah, yo, if y'all feel free to screen record my shit. If y'all want to screen record it, feel free. Just if y'all do screen record my lives, just make sure y'all send me it so I can have it too. But I don't mind if y'all screen record. Exactly, taking our symbols back, taking our third eye back, taking the top of the pyramid back. You feel me? Slap some. All right, got some. Roll that for us, bro. Let's light him up. Light him up. Big smoke. Yeah, I'm gonna share this live video when I get off. I'm gonna share this live video for 24 hours, for the next 24 hours on my story. So for some of y'all to go back, I had a message that I shared with everybody. I also talked about the Anunnaki and the Anunnaki wars and bloodline a little bit briefly, just a brief foundation on it. We didn't get too deep into it. Maybe next time we'll go deeper. But yeah, I'll share it for the next 24. Damn, man, this thing don't want to stand up. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, so I'll share it for the next 24 hours so y'all could go back and rewatch. Maybe take some notes if y'all want to on some of the things I talked about in the Anunnaki. Maybe next time we'll go much deeper into the Anunnaki history and bloodline wars. Because I gave a super, just brief history and timeline of the foundation of it. Did you leave it in the bathroom or something?
Where's my phone?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying when you went. See? Woo! That's some gas, I ain't gonna lie.
Juice?
Yeah, that.
Juice fast?
Yeah. Let's play some music, bro. You got that new track of mine, right? On your phone?
Which one?
That God in the Flesh?
I don't have it downloaded.
Oh, you don't?
I'll download it right now. I don't have my computer. I was listening through the email that I didn't download it. So every time I download something. I'm gonna always tell y'all the same thing. I could give you some good book references, but the best book in the entire universe is looking within and reading your own genetic blueprint. Looking within and reading your own DNA. Mm-hmm. That is the best book in the entire universe. You understand? So, but to keep it solid, yeah, yeah, always look within and read your DNA. Besides that, I will shout out one book that a very good friend of mine wrote. My friend Stephanie South, aka the Red Queen. Her husband was Jose Arguellos, which is the one who translated the Mayan calendar and brought back all the lost sacred Mayan knowledge through past life recall and memory retrieval. And he passed in 2012, right before the Mayan calendar ended, and now she's carrying on his legacy. And she wrote a book that's called. It's a very compact. She has tons of books, but a book I recommend is a very compact book of hers. It's so compact. It's only like 180 pages, maybe 200, but you have never had this much information compacted into only 200 pages in your life. Like, it's deep. So she really breaks down. It's called Accessing Your Multidimensional Self by Stephanie South. Oh, it's about to end on me. Yo, go to lawoftime.org and purchase my friend Stephanie South's book, Accessing Multidimensional